All right, let's get started. So, growth. What does growth mean? What does it mean to you guys when you hear growth?
Change of stages.
Change of stages. Don't forget to use the microphone if you want to speak.
Oh, sorry, partner.
You can all move closer to the front so you can have access to the mic. Go ahead, brother.
Right. To me, when I think of growth, I think of a seed. A plant starts with a seed, then it grows into a shoot. It starts as a seed, plant it in the ground, and then it starts. It maybe grows roots. I'm not sure of the exact process.
Yeah.
And then you see something above the ground, and like leaves or stems or something, and then eventually you see the flower.
Okay.
So that's like in different stages of growth of a plant. And I think that parallels the growth of a human. The parallels the growth of a human.
Yeah.
Like a seed in the tummy of the woman.
Okay.
And then a baby's born, a small baby, and then the child grows to various stages of childhood, and then teenagehood, and then adult.
Okay.
And then a grandparent.
Right.
And then they go to the next life.
Okay.
So that's as far as I can tell you.
No problem. That's good. Anyone else? Growth. Growth.
When I think of growth, I think of expansion.
Okay.
I guess that in itself goes into many different things.
Yeah, I'm just, I like interaction. No right or wrong answer. Just want to hear, when you hear the word growth. Anybody online? TikTok?
Second. Not heard.
YouTube? Clubhouse? Zoom? Instagram? Hello? All right, let's look at it. I'm going to put it into Google. Growth. Can you all still see my screen? Yeah, you can still see my screen. Growth, right? So the meaning, what's the meaning of growth? Maybe this is not let me go to Google. This is not Google, this is Google, here we go. Growth. I'll put meaning. Okay, growth meaning, right, here we go. The process of increasing in size. So that ties into what you said about expansion. The process, the upward growth of plants, the process of developing physically, mentally, or spiritually. Keeping a journal can be a vital step in personal growth. The process of increasing in amount, value, or importance. The state of population growth. The increase in number and spread of small or microscopic organisms. Increase in economic activity or value. Something that has grown or is growing. A day's growth of unshaven stubble on his chin. Okay. So we get the general meaning of growth. All right. So, like I said, the title is to provoke thought, and we're gonna look into it. Everybody always likes to ask cute questions and get answers. So we will have the Q&A as usual after we kind of cover the topic. So growth, can you help or stop growing?
Duncan?
Elaborate, please.
No. Perhaps it could mean that the person doesn't get the right physical and emotional nutrients, as you might say, they may not be able to grow physically or emotionally or mentally.
That's not answering my question.
No, okay.
Can you stop growing?
Yes, not in simple.
Okay. Anyone else? Can you stop growing? There's someone behind me. Okay. Just a few more
I think
answers.
spiritually, you can't stop growing.
You can't stop growing
Yeah,
spiritually.
with more knowledge, you can see multi-cultures from different continents.
Okay.
So
So
there's no growth. You keep on growing spiritually. That's the only, I can say when it comes to spiritual intelligence.
yeah.
When it comes to spiritual intelligence, you just keep on growing. So
Okay.
my answer is, you said, can you stop growing?
Yeah.
So my answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a yes and we've got a no so far.
Yes, I believe you can stop growing.
You're gonna say okay.
I feel like I can hear something like someone talking.
I think that there's a little bit of a echo coming back from that one.
Yes, I think you can stop
So
growing.
is growth good or bad?
Growth is good.
It's a normal growth. Sorry. If it's a normal growth, there's such a thing as abnormal growth.
What's a normal growth and what's an abnormal growth?
Well, abnormal is something that's maybe not natural, like if you have like a boil on your neck or
You just like literally read my mind. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So there is definitely bad growth in the sense of, like you say, if you have a tumor or something, or you're growing in negativity, that's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, mindset, negative mindset.
Yeah. Let me see if anyone on Zoom's got anything. But go ahead.
So when you asked if you can stop growing,
Yeah.
I guess, can it be a thing where you don't stop growing, you don't stop expanding, but it's the way in which you expand. So you could expand positively,
Yeah.
or you could expand negatively. But there's there's no stillness to it. It's not like you can be in one place. You're still going to elevate, but it just depends on the direction you determine you're going to grow in.
I just missed. Titi was just saying something. You can sorry, the TikTok's going so quickly. All right, yeah. Titi, if you want to, yeah, there you go. Like repeating cycles. If you want to say that first part, because I missed it, it went up too quickly. So we're getting a range of answers in terms of growth. We're saying you can keep growing, you can't. We're saying it's good and it can be bad. And we're saying, what was the last one you just said? You said it can be.
It's good and well. It's never still.
It's never still.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone? No one on. Let me see. Zoom growth increase. This is from Brown Sugar. Yeah, growth increases in length, in height, in weight, and knowledge. Okay. Anyone on Clubhouse? No. Okay. Now let's have a look at the chat. Oh, the Zoom link is in the Telegram chat. If you want the Zoom link, because or someone can share the Zoom link. Yeah, people are asking for the Zoom link in the Clubhouse. Okay. Yeah, from Raye Ashak and growth ascending to your higher being, stepping up the ether levels. Okay. Right, so I'm really talking about growth in our culture, in our family, growth in terms of what we're supposed to achieve. So obviously when you're counting from, say, number 1 to 9, you're growing, isn't it? So if you had one building and you have 2 buildings, 3 buildings, that's growing, right? If you have one store, but then you have a store everywhere, and you know, 10 stores, 11, 12 stores, that's growing. Numbers, how many people we're reaching in terms of all Sabat, that's growth. If we can reach, there's 8 billion people on the planet. So how many are we reaching? So if we were reaching 1 million today and we increase that, that would be growing. So it's really about growth for us. Are we growing? And if we're not growing, why not? And what's stopping us? The master explained to us that since his incarceration, some over 20 years now, we seem to have been losing the stuff we had. We lost Tamaray. Or, you know, many stores have closed down. Many people have deserted him. The numbers in the stores worldwide have dwindled. So instead of growing, we seem to be going the other way around. And is that what we want? Do people want to grow? Do we want to grow? Because really, we should be growing phenomenally, especially with the knowledge that we have and the affirmation that we have. Do you want to say something, bro?
Generally speaking, I've understood that in difficult circumstances, people grow deeper roots. They may not grow in numbers, but their roots get deeper and stronger in some cases, but others just fall away. Yeah.
Okay. Deeper in roots.
Yeah.
I don't follow you.
Well, I mean,
expound, please.
Oh, that's a big word.
Deeper in roots.
Well, I mean, if somebody faces a lot of challenges in their marriage, for example, in the early years perhaps, they have to dig deep and find.
Oh, thank you, Terry. I hear you. Growth
Yeah.
in roots, as in
Inner resources.
Yeah.
Inner resources.
I'm following you.
Help, you know.
Okay, but I'm focusing on our growth as the united. In fact, we're now taking back another title of Nuwapians, Islamic Hebrews, which I'm going to go into later. But if we're being serious in terms of growth, if we had, say in the UK, we had about, at least from what I can recall, about 6 stores. Now we have 1. Is that growth? The class, this size of the room we have right here, it has a capacity. So if we wanted to reach 1,000 people, or if we had 1,000 people come into class, would we be able to contain them in this room? No. So we seem to have become complacent, or we're not really focusing on our growth. And that's what I want to talk about today. Why not? Why are we not growing? We need to grow. We need to reach more people, more stores, more temples. Like the master said, in his 20-year incarceration, we should have built more tamarays. We should have more outlets. And this is what we're about now. Like, we have to start getting into the growth mindset, because if you're not growing, what are you doing? You're dying. You're going the other way. If you're not going up, you're going down. And so we want to explore that today. Like, why are we not growing at the level that we're supposed to, and the master would be proud and wants us to grow at? There are many people that have got the knowledge, that have got the affirmation. We are growing, but maybe not at the rate or the level we should be, because people are reaching the point where they're coming to us from all parts of the world in terms of, you know, OSM Vision and the classes and the brothers, you know, New Jersey, Sabakan, Caffrey, and many people that are trying to teach. We should be out there. Like we were propagating before, where we used to be at every corner. And now you only see us in one place. I'm talking about the UK anyway. We're only in Brixton now. It's that growth, considering wherever you used to go when we were out there in white as Ansars, we were in every corner. Now, people don't even know where we are. So why is that? We need a bigger space. We need a bigger building, because you want to accommodate children, have a creche, you want to have things for the elders, you know, you want to have a place where you can go to and relax and feel like, you know, a community. When we say community, the community has to grow. So I want to hear from people, because when we start talking about these types of things, we can quote the books and doctrine, and people want to know about all sorts of information. But when it comes to us building and growing, and you know, for me, this is a theme that I'm constantly speaking about. So, anybody, any thoughts? Why not? Why are we not growing? Or growing at a rate that we should be? I'm not saying we're not, but really, the amount of people that have been exposed to Wu Sabat, if everyone was doing something, posting a video, sharing a video, commenting, making videos, when you're scrolling through all this social media, I mean, it's getting more now. Everything you should be seeing is Wu Sabat, this brother, this sister, that person is breaking down a scroll, that one is talking about something. We should be shutting down the whole social media right now. But people are not doing it. Even as simple as just sharing, pressing a button, liking, commenting, subscribing. What's happened to us? Why have we become so complacent? Why have we just kind of like just let all the work that the master teachers put in just kind of like become stagnant? Am I lying? If anyone, you know, thinks I'm saying something it's not true or different, please let me know. Why have we decided to get weaker instead of stronger in terms of, you know, the master teacher's giving us everything. He says that he's giving us everything. We've got everything we need, but we're still not growing as we should be. Go ahead, Kobe.
I think I'm on to my third year here, yeah. And I think from when I've joined to now, I've definitely seen a growth.
Sure.
I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm having conversations with people. I'm trying to gauge where they're at, and then they mention Dr. Luke. And I'm like, okay, wow, okay, we're there.
Yeah.
So I can see it growing. I guess, I don't know what happened when the master teacher was kidnapped and how.
Thank you. Went. Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I can just see it growing more and more. And maybe it's because I'm more into the doctrine, I'm more into everything, I'm doing my chants and everything. So everything I'm seeing now, majority of what I'm seeing now is new happening. So
no, we are definitely growing because the brother's got his hand up at the back. The newcomers, that's what I'm saying. We are growing, but the newcomers or new people, new blood, I say new blood, but you know, yeah, people are coming, and that's what I'm saying. That the people that have been here for a long time, and we have to be able to accommodate all these new people coming. So growth is real, and we have to be in a position to have everything that we need to accommodate and all these new people that are coming in. That's kind of where I'm coming from. But you're right, we are definitely going. Go ahead, brother.
First of all, I want to say thank you for taking your time.
No problem.
And I'm also new here.
Oh, good.
But I'd like to comment something to deal with like growth.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can tap into like the summer events.
Yes.
You know,
This is what I want to hear. Yes, because
Yeah.
we just had an event. I don't know if you came to the.
Oh, unfortunately, I had traveled.
Okay.
So by the time I was coming back, I had to reload.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually paying my own bills. But anyway,
it's fine.
Going forward, I was saying about marketing for summer events, you know, African events.
Yeah.
They're normally like millions and millions of people. Like one of them is the Caribbean and Jamaican event.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, what's it called again? So, you know, the one that the Jamaicans and their. Like,
oh, you're talking about Carnival?
Carnival, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I mean, we've got to be at all these events.
Yeah. So
we can. This is what I want to hear us talk about, how we're going to grow and how we can grow and what's growth. Yeah.
So I was thinking, you see those cards, we can write, do you know you are actually an Egyptian? That people will be like.
All right. Let me tell you something about Carnival experience.
So something eye-catching.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing more events. That's one of the ways of growing. So that point you made is true. We've got to be out there. We've got to get to where we can reach more people. Carnival over here, to be honest, we used to always go to Carnival, but a lot of it has changed over the years. It's become smaller and smaller because of restrictions, but also a lot of people that are in Carnival, a lot of them go there to just have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're just dancing, but we still had a presence and we still should look at that. Many people, you give them a flyer, you know, they take it away and some might just throw it on the floor. Some may put it in their bag or something. And then when they're sober, they pick it up and they end up coming to class and we change their lives. So you're right.
My bad for cutting you off. How about water? You know, water, you can actually stay with it for like minimum 20 minutes.
What's that?
I'm saying water that is written something like this.
Yeah.
It's because you actually spend a lot of time in Carnival and it's hot.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, what we're basically saying is, you're a newcomer, so I appreciate love your comments.
Yeah.
We're saying if more people keep coming, come into the family, go to all the stores, bring your ideas and work with everyone that is building.
Right.
So that's what we're doing now. Everyone's got to come together to unite, to build so we can grow and have these things that we're talking about, you see. I see Brown Sugar, you said growth is increasing. Oh no, that's somebody else was Terry, that's it. Terry Jamal, growth is similar to creating. To create is simply to grow. That's right. That's exactly what I was going to go on to, which is the word creation means to grow, as we've broken down. So when you're looking at, you know, in the biblical scriptures, they say that God created. That's what the word grow. Creation is growth. Yeah, so that's what we want to hear. We want to hear from people today, like how we're going to grow. We're growing and we need to facilitate everything. So as part of that growth, I'm going to share with you, unless anyone else has any questions or comments. Kat says, I agree. Challenge can motivate deeper growth. Yeah, we've got to grow in every direction. Mentally, physically, spiritually, community, stores, buildings, temples. Like every other race seems to have their own temples to celebrate their calendar events and their culture. And it's a place they can go to and just feel at home. We need to start having these things. And you need the people that are ready to work and ready to build. We have a number of programs and initiatives and things going on. We just need those people that they're not just talking. There's only really two things: reading and applying what you're reading. Yeah, reading the doctrine, reading the scrolls, because the master has spelled everything out for us. Studying, reading, and applying what you're studying and you're reading. That could be the language, could be anything to do with how we bring our skills together to build. You know, you're reading all the information, but now it's the growth. We're going to grow and we need to be ready to work. A lot of people shy away from work and to create. That's what, like Jamal says, Terry Jamal says, create. We go create everything we need for ourselves. That's what makes you a deity, goddess. You got to be able to create and be in control and be responsible for everything and everyone. Everyone's quiet. I guarantee you, when we open up for questions, there will be so many questions. But when it comes to talking about these things, it's simple. Go to your local store. You know what? I've been over the years, especially the last few years in terms of growth, the people who I've seen make the most progress. Of course, if you're online and you're in another country and you're far away and there's no store near you, doesn't mean you still can't help us grow. You can be a part of a community online and do the things that will make us grow, help, contribute, help with the legal, help with financial contributions, help with your skills, help with putting programs together, help with, if you know how to access funding for running projects, help with developing things for the young people, for the elders, for ourselves, like everything we need, we should be able to do in our communities, wherever our communities are, worldwide. Because Wu Sabat, it can't be stopped. Wu Sabat is the best way to live your life. You know, Wu Sabat is the way that we've been waiting for all our lives. So why are we not getting on board and doing what we need to do? People want to read books, stay by themselves, in individualism. But we say the affirmation, I'm in the love of the all and all loves me. I'm a part of the all and the all is a part of me. I can succeed as a part of the all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I want as long as my want is to what? Being the all expanding. So when I said about growth, we talk about the all expanding. The all expanding. That's growth. Because each person's an individual is a universe, one. But two are dualverse, three are triverse, four are, multiverse. We start to go to omniverse, but each person is connected to each person, and we're connected, whether we like it or not, genetically, worldwide. Because we're entangled. Our DNA is entangled. We call that quantum entanglement. So the more of us that are vibrating, operating on the mental state of growth, then you can't complain and worry about, oh, they don't give me jobs, they don't look after me well in the hospitals, the schools, they don't teach us the right things. And all of that will be gone when you have your own stuff, when you grow. And you have to start with your growth, your individual growth, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. We have to grow. So the title is growth. And if anyone's got anything they want to contribute or ask or say, please feel free at any time. Go ahead.
Second. Hello?
So I have a question regarding this. So I find it more of a challenge with, especially like out propagating today, maybe like the older generation. How do you initiate that once again? Because a lot of people seem to be stuck under the spell.
Right. So
how do you initiate growth amongst those?
Right, because what it is, you got people that can relate to each other. So a lot of younger people are going to relate to younger people. The elders are going to relate to the elder. You see, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if we have a building like we have in New York and we had Tamaray, where everyone can come, the elders will see other elders. and they will be able to link with them and associate with them. And if those elders are in Wu Sabat, then the conversations and everything they're going to have is going to be raising those elders, because sometimes people, as you say, are stuck in their ways. Like you say, it's hard. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but an elder can relate to an elder, and they will be able to talk and say, so, like, this elder here is here with us, and he's been coming to classes. See, it's not about age, it's about your mentality. And sometimes our egos and pride and all these things get in the way, because if you're an elder that is open-minded, you're willing to learn at any age, you see. But there are some elders that are like, you're young, you can't tell me anything. Yeah, and then some of the young people are like, you're old, you can't tell me anything because you can't relate to the world we live in today. So we have to turn the hearts of the elders to the young and the young to the old. But that's what I'm saying about growth. When we have our own building, our own communities, then we cover from the young to the middle age to the elders, and then we spread and share each one to each one. That's how we have to do it. Because when you're out there propagating, because if you remember how you came in, well, we're in the age of the internet now, so it's slightly different. But when we were out there, was people our age that we related to, and we went to them. Even the females, like the sacred feminine, when they're out there, because if you're out there propagating and there's just, say, a bunch of men, the females may not approach you because they don't feel safe, or they might think you guys are going to be hitting on them and all of that. So we need to have the sisters with their mates and females also out there, so that when other females see that, they feel comfortable to approach them. If you've got young people out there, you see a lot of these churches, that's what they do. They're taking our young people. A lot of these Christian groups, you see them, most of our young people are there because they have the church, they have the building, they have like programs going on for the young people, right? That's what we need to get to. And we got a lot of young people. We've got an association in Wudrusu, which is, young student association, which they can reach young people using the methods of today. I see you come up on stage, Yomi, and I see the elder here. But did you want to go ahead and say something first?
Yeah, you mentioned elders. Now, you mentioned, right, okay. You mentioned elders. The brother who does boxing or something, who looks like a boxer upstairs, he was talking to the elder gentleman about Musabat. But the elder was saying, oh yes, I've got a different mindset and I have a different experience than you. But as soon as I mentioned Marcus Garvey, he lit up.
Right.
Because even though I don't know too much about Marcus Garvey at all, at least I've heard the name anyway. And so that really got him engaged.
Right.
So maybe we need to really know a little bit of the history of this last century,
yeah, that's what the master did with putting that We Are Family picture together, which has got all these people like Marcus Garvey. It's upstairs there. We've got because it's important that we're bringing everyone together. And you're right, there are people who they grew up on Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, and Garvey actually.
Right, and then you've got people that the younger ones that were growing up with Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Because he was on that, like, time, by all means necessary. Then you got those that grew up with Martin Luther King,
right,
who was more of a Christian, kind of passive compared to Malcolm anyway. Then you got Noble Drew Ali, you got the Nation of Islam with Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And all of these people were literally kind of like passing the baton on and sharing information and knowledge, but they just didn't have the full information because they didn't have the linguist. They weren't linguists, so they weren't able to like really know the languages. So they were still kind of caught under the spell because their foundation was based on religion or Islam. you know. So whereas the masters come now to like finish the job. So he's pulling all those people together, and no matter what, whether you're a 5%er, Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelite, and what he had to do is clear up all the mess first by, you know, putting all the, like what we call setting the record straight in their doctrines to let them know, like, this was fake, this is the truth. Now let's come together under one umbrella. Yeah, so that's what's happening now, and it's happening. And he's the one that's come with the full circumference of knowledge, which is not based on any religion, it's based on our culture. So he's given us back our culture. What this crown, what you call the sib or the nib crown you see me wearing, is called a katar. This is unique to us. Just like if you see a Sikh, they'll have their headdress, right? And you look at other people, they have their cultural attire. We have everything now. Our own language, our own attire, our own foods, our own dance, our own music, our own tones. We have everything. Now it's about growth. That's why I'm talking about growth today. I see a few comments. Yomi, I'm going to let you speak in a minute because you came up on stage. But let me just go through this chat. So we also have from Kat, I agree, challenge can motivate deeper growth. Yeah, a lot of people become complacent. If you're not challenged every day, you don't know your potential. So the master has put out the scroll, your potential, and the mind scroll, because the mind is what governs how you behave and how you act. So the potential shows you how much potential you've got or how you can tap into your inner potential. Yeah, so it's all about growth. So D says, maybe one reason why growth has stalled is due to distraction of global national events. Not any one event in particular, simply many things happening simultaneously, as well as instant access to plethora of information. Yeah, you're right. That is the key. Those are called distractions. Yeah, they distract you from doing what we're supposed to be doing. Distractions and people being individualists, where they just want to read the books, stay at home, or just not get involved with the actual work that needs to be done. If you're a Nuwapian man and you claim or say you're a Nuwapian man, then come and go to every Nuwapian man, or not every, but go to the Nuwapian man's meeting. Read the Nuwapian man or Sabian man scroll, Patarak, because it tells you what a Nuwapian man should be doing. And everyone on these calls that's watching these videos, if you want to be a Nuwapian man, you can be a man, but there's a difference between a Nuwapian man and a normal man. Yeah, so if you want to be a Nuwapian man, go to the stores, go to the Nuwapian man meetings, and become a Nuwapian man. If you're a Nuwapian sister, do the same. And then, like you say, people will see you and they want to ask you, why do you look like that? Why do you, wear those symbols? Why do you have this? Why do you have that? And then the conversation opens up. Right, go ahead, Yomi. And then I'm going to read Terry's comment, and then we'll go into some of the updates. Right back.
Yeah, so I just, first of all, I wanted to second
right.
And then I was going to say that I really like the OSM Vision, social media presence, things we do on YouTube and stuff like that. I think for the growth, for the evolution of the saviors, because they're now living in a very social media type age, and a lot of these videos can eventually go viral. So I think we need to see more of that, because a lot of them are really good. A lot of knowledge being shared, where you had like full Christians versus, yourself and other brothers within the nation. It's really good stuff. So I like to see more social media stuff, more interviewing Christians and people who are not of the way. And getting asked questions and getting that presence online.
Torah.
Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Thank you. But again, we all have to play our part, because people like to say, I think we should do this, or I think you lot should do this, or you should do that. But when you say, well, come and help us then, be involved, then it's like everyone wants to say, you do it, you do it. It's all for us. We're doing it for our community, yeah, and everyone who would like to be a part of it. So, yeah, thank you.
I agree with that, but then that's where we need to come together and delegate responsibility. You know what I mean? See what different people can be. Some people are strong in certain areas, some people are not strong in other areas. So let's need to come together and have a plan how we can help each other. That's all I say about that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who's about that, come to us or go to wherever you're closest to. All right. So Terry says, in order to grow, just like the master teacher puts the state of nothingness has to be created. So in this regard, concerning our culture and community, we first need to mentally create the state of growth within us. We can only raise others if we raise ourselves first. We also need to get involved with everything, be part of the community, learn and propagate. That can create growth. Exactly, 100%. All right. Yeah, if anyone else has anything or question they want to ask, just feel free at any time. But I'm going to share some of the new things that we've been given so that we can expand. All right. Give me 1 second to open some files. Growth. That's what today is about. Growth, growth, growth. Just give me a moment to open up these files. As the silence is there, feel free to think of ways of us growing, and not just think about it, but how we can implement it and how you can help to implement it. Okay. So people are all quiet. I notice I keep a good analysis of when we talk about things involving work, and actually, in order to grow, you got to create, and that's what the word actually means. So, okay, got one more to open, and then we can go through them.
So, do you need whiteboard?
No, it's in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have it in case people want to. I'll put it here for now. So, yeah. Okay, cool. It's good to see everyone today, by the way. Okay, so can you guys still see my screen? Yeah, you can. Right, so the master always gives us new stuff. And I'm going to start off with reading this. It's called The Pen. Well, it's about the pen. Can you all see it? Yeah. Do you want to turn that up? Actually, will the video still pick up? Go on then. All right, so.
Sorry, did you say my pen? Sorry.
No, I'm going to read this about the master's pen.
On the master's pen, sorry.
Yeah. You ready? Okay. I am the finger that wrote. I am the voice that spoke. I am the pen that broke the spell of ignorance by my pen. I changed this wicked world by my pen. I break the spell of sleep by my pen. I was going to tell Shem to tell all those people to come down. I cast the cursed, I cast the cursed children of the devil back into hell's deep. The pen is my body. The ink is my blood, by which I record facts, Yanun. And It says, let this be known to all. They all have and is still being deceived by this devil in flesh. Revelation 12:9 to 12. Revelation 12:9 to 12. Don't believe me, check it out. Read Leviathan 666 scroll. So before I go into the next, I'm going to go to, let's look at Revelation. Yeah. No, leave it because we use blueletterbible.org. Okay, so that quote was Revelation 12, verse 9 to 12, yeah? So if we go and read that, I'll just put it into Revelation 12.
9 to 12.
Yeah, I already know the quotes, to be honest, that quote, but we're going to read it. I'll just go from 12 and then we can go down. Right, so Revelation 12, if you read the whole of Revelation, when you get to, I'll start to 12:7, because the master says we should always read a few verses before and then a few verses after. Trying to make it a bit bigger. Right, there we go. Right, so Revelation 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought back and his angels. Revelation 12:8. And prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. Right? Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. 12:11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. And 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah. So when you actually interpret these properly, what you're seeing here is the master talking about how when you're saying from 12:7, Michael, Murdoch, yeah, Malachi, Zed, York, and his angels fought against the dragon, the draconians, yeah, from the Draco constellation. These are the reptilians that are being exposed now all over the world for all the things they've been doing, because they were cast down here. And he said that, you know, they prevailed not. And when you're seeing salvation, now it's come salvation. I'm sure you all, because this is the revelations, yeah, of the Nuwapians, of the Sabians. Now it's come salvation. The lamb, that's what you're talking about, the master teacher. Now we're going to look at that. This is the lamb. And you see that picture, it depicts the lamb. And he says, I came out of even what he's holding. That's, if you turn it the other way, that's the lamb in Arabic. Yeah, the letter lamb, which is like that. Or you said the L as in the alphabet, but it's the lamb. I came out of the East, 1945 AD, Africa, Ghana, onto the Western world, a son of physical parents. I was raised up amongst them to know them. I came forth in 1970 AD to give them what they believed in until after 30 years, they would learn to want what I really came to teach them by 2000 AD. Yet they refused me. Some betrayed me and offered me into the hands of the devil or the evil ones for a small price they did not receive. Yet I forgive you all before I depart. All right, so our new, this is our new symbol, and we're now NIH. We were always NIH, Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews Inc. From 1970 AD. This is what he's saying. If you go to Psalms 84, right, we'll read them. Go to Psalms 84, verse 11 to 12. All right, so again, you can see Psalms 84, make it a bit bigger. Yeah, so where was I? Oh, there we go. Psalms 84, 11 to 12. 84, 11 to 12. So I'm going to read again from 84, 10. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tent of wickedness. Then it goes on to 84:11. For the Lord God is a sun. Note, S-U-N, sun and shield. Right? Because then when you go to Malachi chapter 4, verse 2, we're going to look at that soon. God is a sun, S-U-N, and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will be withheld from them that walk upright. So when we're saying come into Wu Sabat and learn and be taught how to walk upright, this is what it's saying. Let's carry on. 84:12. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the man that trusteth in thee. So if you trust in the man of the hour, and oh, look at that. It's got Malachi 4:2 just at the bottom, which is what I was going to go to next anyway. So when we're saying son of righteousness, go to Malachi. This is no coincidence because his name's Malachi. The angel is called Michael. This is the book of Malachi, which he wrote. And there you go. We go again from Malachi 1, chapter 4, verse 1, and then we go to the 2. Oh, this thing's a bit, it's hard to make bigger. Can you see it? You can see it anyway, right? Malachi verse 4, 1, it says, For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. This is talking about the sun. Because remember that the covenant was that the world will no longer be destroyed by water, but by fire. But this fire is the sun. So it says, Behold, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, ye and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Malachi 4:2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son, S-U-N, of righteousness arise with the healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as cows of the stall. So again, the Son of righteousness, the sun cycle coming in the year 2000 AD, because the master teacher started the mission in 1970 AD. which was the first half hour, as you see here, 1970 AD. And the second half an hour is where we're in now, which is from the year 2000 to 2030. All right, so these are our new symbol. And I'm going to give you an explanation that the master has given us on it. So you can see that you see the Ankh Tui in the middle. You see the, let me just go through it. So when you're looking at the Ankh Tui, people always ask us about the symbol that you see us with, the Ankh Tui or double Ankh, symbol of the second resurrection. Revelation 25-6. Okay, I'm going to go to that. Revelations 5-6. Okay, so from Revelation 5:1, and I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written, written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. 7 seals. 5:2, and I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. This is what I'm saying about him opening the seal in 1970. Right? Keep going, Revelation 5:3. And no man in heaven, nor earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look. Sorry, TikTok is acting up. Neither to look thereon. 5:5. And one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold the Lion of the tribe of Judah. This is why a lot of people, Rastafaris, try to tie in certain, like Haile Selassie to the Lion of Judah, right? But it says that the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, right, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof, right? So this is the master teacher now saying he is of the line of the tribe of Judah, because when you look at the 12 tribes, the only tribes that remain were Judah and Dan. And this is why they leave the woman out as well, which should be 13, but not to digress too much. But he is referred to as the lion and as well as the lamb, because there's the 2 different natures, right? The Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Okay, so going back to where was I? Oh, yeah, and to it. Right, so that's Revelation 25-6. So 6 is, and I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb. That's what I just said about he's also the lamb, right? The lamb. Okay. And the lamb stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth. And that's why the master said, read the Leviathan books. Okay, because you see the horns. Let's keep going. So Revelation 25-6, from 1970 AD to the year 2000 AD. The first ended 2000 AD. Hebrews 11:35, and from 2000 AD to 2030. So let's go to Hebrews 11:35. So pay attention. So I'm going to just go from the one before, 1134, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in flight, turned the flight, the armies of the aliens. Now we go to 1135. Women receive their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. Right, so that's the resurrection. So when we say the Ankh-Tui, the Ankh has only one, the two is representing the resurrection. And that's from the year 2000 AD to 2030 AD, the time we're in right now. So that's dealing with the Ankh-Tui or double Ankh. We're going to look at the gems or the jewels in between. You have a blue gem for the Kedarites. Who knows who Kedar is? No? Okay. Kedar is the son of Vishnu, right? And he's as black. Anyway, let's keep going. Blue gem for Kedarites, Sapphire, Revelations 21:19. Go back to Revelations 21:19. Okay. And the foundation of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire. See, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald. So that's that blue gem. Then you also have, it says, why is it black or gold? It's you, black people. Okay, then green. The green gem, again, that's in Revelation 21:19 and Exodus 28. Revelation 21. Was that 21:19? Yeah, it's the same one I've just read because it talks about the emerald. It was the emerald at the end of that when I read it. See it there? Emerald. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so in the if you see the crescent, so when you're looking at the new symbol, where is it? Yeah, you see in the crescent. Who can tell me what that says? No.
Yanun.
Yanun. Yeah, there you go. This is Yaanun. Right. So in the crescent, it says, this is what we just read, Malachi, verse 4:2, son of righteousness. Okay. And then in the Quran as well, it talks about in Quran 68, 1-7, and Psalms 72:17, the Strong's number 5125 is Nun, to sprout forth, Yanun, the pen. The rise of the one true black Messiah. He, as Al-Masih and Al-Mahdi in one person. Yeah. So we know him as Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, the true al-Hadi, the guide, which you find in Quran 6. Let me go to the Quran before people just accuse me of only dealing with the Bible. Quran. If you go to Quran.com, there are many versions, of course, but let me just close this window. Right, so Quran, we'll go to Quran 68, 1-7. I don't normally navigate much on the Quran. Let's see, 68. See, 68 is called what? The pen. So as it says here, if you look at Quran 68, 1-7, that surah is referred to, is called the pen, al-kalam. Okay? And it says nun. There you go, Parnababia nun, by the pen, what everyone writes. Or they say everyone, but they're misquoting it. So we're talking about the pen of the master teacher. And if you haven't actually, I'm going to just quickly jump to the United Sabians website and go to, if you haven't read it already, okay, I'm going to just pull it up so you can read it later. So this is where you'll find some of the updates. And this one here is called "Unto Us a Savior is Born." If you click on this one, if you haven't read this already, I'm not going to read all of it. But this is talking about "Unto Us a Savior is Born," and it goes through. That's Parnabab Yanun's mother, of course, but that's the hospital where he was born, and it goes through the elders that came on the night, etc., etc. But what I want to show you is this part here, the golden pen. And it says here that I'm just gonna go from 26. It was exactly 12 midnight. The day is now the 26th of the 6th month, June, on Tuesday, year 1945 AD. Onto Africa, a divine child is born, Yanun, in his person, and the person was named in Ghana, Malachi Kobina York, and his extended family in Jazir Abba in Sudan named him Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. 27. Once the three men separated hands above Maria, the one of them, Razwan, took hold of the baby's right hand and materialized a small gold rod. At closer look, it was in fact a Zarab pen. 28. And the second one of them, Zanun, took hold of the baby's left hand and in his own hand materialized a clear glass vessel with Nabet Habar, gold ink, glowing, and the third of them, Zakhun, clapped his hands together and there appeared a small clear warak, papyrus page. And the first of them led the hand of the Mukrad, child, with the pen in it to dip the head of the pen in the gold, glowing ink and withdrew it. 30, the third of them stepped forward and the first of them with his hand over the baby's boys holding the golden pen touched the clear page and immediately letters of Madat at words appeared on the page that none of them read. 31, all stood watching with mouths open wide, yet they could not speak a word. The baby looked at each of them, and from inside of him was heard a male's voice speaking in their own Milsan tongue, and each of the Mukwanu beings rose upward and out of the ceiling, were gone from sight. So this is all relating to the pen. As you saw, we just read in Quran 68, 1-7, and how he received that golden pen as a child. And as soon as he put it to paper, he started to write. So it was known as Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, the true al-Hadi, the guide, which we just read. You can again go to 68, 7, which we just read. So let me just read what they represent. Black crescent moon upright symbol of the end of the previous moon cycle from 6000 BC to 2000 AD. The end of fictional religious beliefs, with the yellow band with Yanun in Nwapik, symbol of his arrival and removal of the spell of ignorance cast upon the black and brown race. You can read that in Psalms 8:3, Jeremiah 8:2, Deuteronomy verse 4:19. Host, and the Strong's number is 6635. Sabbath, Genesis 2:1. Sabbat, and why the colors green, yellow, red. Mix them together and you get our skin color. Okay? So that's our symbol. And now that's our flag. Okay, so that's the breakdown for our new Nuwapians, Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews, NIH. All right, so that's come up to 2020 exactly. So any questions, we can go into Q&A. We have about an hour. Tua,
I have a question.
go ahead.
Yeah, so are you now, as Nuwapic Islamic Histories, are you now part of Islam? I don't understand what that means.
Well, we were always known as, in terms of, when you say Islam, we're not talking about the religion, we're talking about what the word means. The root word of the word Islam, or which becomes Muslim, is salam, which is peace. So we are ones of peace. We've always been ones of peace. So when we say Islam, we're not talking about the religion, we're talking about the salam, the peace, the peaceful way, which got desecrated and has turned into something completely different. And that's why with this sun of righteousness, or this peace coming in, it's gonna get rid of the chaos or the sixth ether. So that's the peace that we're talking about.
Okay, and could you maybe talk a bit more about what the original means? I mean, does that come to our ancestors in terms of the original Islam?
Absolutely, yeah. The original way was a peaceful way because we were in tune with nature, and we still are. And it's just that because we were given religion, which basically took us away from our culture and connecting as animists back to nature, because before these entities or these beings came, the Pataites were one with nature and we lived in peace. There was no chaos on the planet at that time. If you want to read more about that, you can read Actual Fact Existence, How and Why. And that goes into more detail. But yeah, it's the peaceful way. That's what it's supposed to be. Mu, the word mu is one who is of. So when you're saying mu, and then you're saying salam, which they say Muslim, or mu salam, is one who is of peace. Yeah. But what's happened is now they changed the language, changed the Arabic, added vowels, and introduced tajweed, which was basically a grammatical system with apostrophes and all kinds of stuff that changed the meaning of the word. So that when you ask someone today what it means, they will say it means to submit. Yeah, you ask them, most Muslims out there, you ask, they will say it means to submit, because they've been taught to remember words that they tie to mean what it doesn't actually mean. Because if you start going, okay, let's break down the word. Salam means peace. Musalam means one who is of peace. So then how does it mean submit? Because when you start to go into it, you see that they say submit, but the thing is that if you're one of peace, you automatically submit to the will of harmony and nature anyway.
Yes.
But they then mix it up with what they call jihad.
Yeah. And can I ask, you said it's been changed. Does that mean that traditionally the Arabic is actually an African language? Is that correct?
Yeah, the original language is Misbatia and Nuwapic, where all languages come from. That's why you will find some similar words in Arabic, but Arabic is young. It's only, it just came the other day. So it would be them that have got words from Misbatia in their language, like how you will find every language coming from the root language, but then the dialects and different people accents, etc., then changes it. But yeah, it's definitely, that's why when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was given a prophecy, he said that after he's gone, only God himself will come, and that will come with a new Arabic. But when you hear new Arabic, what he's saying is Noah pick.
Okay.
And that's the lamb, which we mentioned before. When you see the lamb, if you look at the holy tablets, every chapter in the verses begins with lamb, because this is the lamb.
Yes.
Yeah.
What scroll would you recommend? Sorry, lastly, what scroll would you recommend to find out more about Miss Bate and its origins and meanings?
We actually have a whole book called The Language of Time, and other books, The Language of Time, that goes into the history and everything. Plus, we already have the language course as well online, that goes into it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, any other questions? Let's have a look if we have anything in the chat. Any questions? Go ahead, Zamal.
So on the flag, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The second, you know what? I thought the first part of it on the right side said Miss Batu.
Mm-hmm. We have the language master just walked in, so perfectly timed.
Perfect timing.
Try again. It's not right.
It's not Miss Batu, is it?
No, try again.
If you pick out the letters, you'll be able to figure it out. If it was Mus, the third one wouldn't be what it is, would it?
I've got my breakdown here.
Give it to Habtouni.
It's breakdown.
Go, yeah, you can have the break. Let's say your breakdown. Oh, we haven't got that poster.
So it's MU.
Okay, look in the middle. What did he say here?
Okay, MUN.
Okay.
W.
Mm-hmm.
A. What? Who? Is that P? Yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna go for this one as well?
Yeah. MUTA. Stand I.
These are people that are doing the work, they're studying. This is good. This is quite interesting.
The second one's from me off.
Just shut.
Yeah, sure. We're all learning, so it's fine. Anyone else?
We just write it. We write it and try it.
But,
Keep going. You do very well.
you're doing very, very well.
We just write it.
I'm just trying to see if I've got something that. Oh, you're writing, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
This is why it's important for us to learn the language. Read, write, and speak it. Sorry for those on Clubhouse, you can't see the screen, but I'm sharing. In fact, actually, can I do it? Let me see if I can. No, I can't put it on there. Actually, I might be able to.
Mutayab.
Capture, you wanna tell him?
Am I saying that right? Mutaya.
Yeah, what, it's a sharp. Like a, yeah. What you got it right? The sharp. What's a circle? So that's it.
That's the A with the dot.
Yeah, with the sharp. What next letter? You getting there?
That's another A.
Yeah, the last one is
B.
what does it spell? What
Sha.
say again,
Sha'ab.
bit more, say again.
Muta sha'ab.
Right, you know what that means? Nation.
Okay.
So start again from the beginning. Read the whole thing down.
Munwatu.
Yeah.
Muta sha'ab
And the translation.
is
Nuapian Nation.
Nuwapian Nation.
Did very well.
You did very well. Get away. Give him a round of applause.
Next level now, at the end, the middle of this.
Yeah, he knows that one already. He got that
Did very well,
one.
did
Yeah.
very well.
Okay, that's good. All right. Let's test. What does the red stand for?
That's what I was coming for, the colors. So I want to say the blood.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we already broke down the green. And the yellow we broke down as well, right? Here. Okay. Yeah. Good. Any other questions? I've got a question in the chat from Bree. I need to understand something regarding jewelry. Can a Zamal tap wear double ankh jewelry, or is it for Zamal? No, yes, you can definitely wear it. Again, for those who pay attention, if you go to our website and there should be, yeah, here. If you go to the Ankh Tui pendants, you will see that there are various ones. Can you see the colored Miank Tui? Yeah. For those who are looking at the screen, you got those. You got this. It's all jewelry for females, and both male and female can wear it. To answer your question, and there are other jewelry as well. All right. Any other questions? Okay, that's it in the right. Let's see if we have anything in the Zoom, in the chat. So D says maybe one reason. Oh yeah, we covered already. In order to grow just like the mask, we covered that. Okay, no questions in the chat. You can ask questions about anything. We are in the Q&A part. The title to reset the room is growth, and it's about what you're doing. Start with yourself first. What you're doing to grow, and what we should be doing collectively to grow. Why is everyone quiet today? I'm trying to go back to the clubhouse. I've lost it. Yeah, why is everyone quiet? No questions today? Should we go home? Does everyone wants to go home?
Zamal, can you remind me the meaning of Hebrew? Was that to cross over?
Yeah, the thing with words, it's important. That's a good question. The words have an origin and then they evolve. And so the word Hebrew comes from the word Ibri, right? And that Ibri, it goes into Chaldea because Abraham was from Chaldea, or of Chaldea. And yeah, so it's a description. Even the word, if you look at the word Nibiru, you can hear Hebrew, Nibiru, Hebrew. Yeah, because the Anunnaki, they chose Abraham, and they were watching him cross over the Tigris Euphrates River, and they described him as an Ibri, which means to cross over, or Hebrew. And the reason I mentioned Nibiru is because the title of the craft means to cross over, or planet of the crossing. You see, so that's weird. What Hebrew comes from Ibri, which means to cross over, or they refer to him as a Hebrew, but that's the origins of the word.
So when you break down Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews,
Yeah.
I know it's from mouth to ear, but I'm trying to just decipher that and how you would.
Okay, no, it was because when the master first came on the scene and he put if you look in that picture, the lamb picture, look at what he's wearing on can you see his ring? Mm-hmm. If you look at it properly, he had the crescent, he had the six-pointed star, and he had the Ankh in the middle of it. So when you're looking at this, or even more so, when you're looking at that, it's the same ring, but as you're saying, like, he had to be able to bring all of us together. So those of us in religion at the time, we were either Muslims, Christians, mainly. So the Muslims would relate to the crescent, because when you look at, if I just put world flags here, I just search world flags, and we go to images. I need to see ones that are clearer. Okay, maybe this one here. Can you see that the crescent and star? A lot. This is not a very clear image, but most of the Islamic world, or most of the countries that have been taken over, in terms of a lot of them are given allegiance to the Antichrist or the devils. Like, but if you look at most flags, they will have a star and the crescent. If they're Islamic, in fact, we put the Islamic symbols. Islamic. Is Islam religious symbol. Right, so you see that everything has a crescent in it. So because they turn everything from sun worship to moon worship. And but the reason they did that is because the moon represents its ether, and it deals with the absence of soul and the absence of light. So, but the master knew that a lot of our people that were caught up in it will be attracted. When you look at the symbol, you think, oh, it's a star and crescent. But but it's not. As in, it is a crescent, but it's not a 5-pointed star of Islam. See? Like this. But you will immediately be attracted to it. And if you came from the Christian world, remember the Jews refer to mainly the Torah or the Old Testament, you would see the 6-pointed star. Again, if I did the same thing and changed this to Jewish, I put, right, you will see they have mainly the 6-pointed star. But there are different types of, can you see? There are different types of stars. So again, you would automatically look at this and see the 6-pointed star and think, oh, it's Christianity or Judaism. But then if you look further, and right in the center of it, he has the Ankh Tui, the Ankh at the time, which was referring to us as the ancient Egyptians, right? So when you say Hebrews, or you're talking about, remember that the whole original Arabs would have been African because of Hagar and Abraham having the son Ishmael. So this symbol was basically able to attract everyone from the religious background, whether it was Christianity or Islam, and but in the middle was our stuff, ancient Egypt, and tie in the Ankh, and then of course outside is the sun, as we've been talking about the sun of righteousness and the fact that we're sun people. So that's why we had that title, to attract and bring all of our family together under one umbrella. You follow?
Sure.
And Takakirafu. Any other questions? So in terms of us building, this is the change. The build is we're growing again. We're transforming. Echoing back. Someone's got their mic open. Rahobat. I can't see who that is, but go ahead.
Okay. My question was, you mentioned something about a new symbol, right?
Tua.
Okay. With that symbol, does it entail something deeper coming down the pipeline? Because the master teacher, like you said, the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, what I noticed in my travels is that here lately, there's a lot of Hebrew Israelites. And what I'm thinking now is this like, because of the spell of ignorance is being broken on the religion of Christianity, is that like a deeper spell? Because it seems as if that, you know, with the Hebrew Israelism and the way that they teach, it's more or less like they say a lot of things that would attract people because from the outside looking in, it's as if they're doing a black thing, or you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the debates that I've seen is basically based upon that. So, but I think it attracts people to it. But at the end of the day, they're not very deep historically, and a lot of their references are going back to the Bible, and they're using the Bible as a reference as if this is actual facts.
Right.
So, is that a deeper spell that's put under our people?
Yes. But remember, someone's mic is open because I'm echoing back. But it's not. We're not Nubian Islamic Hebrews now. We are Nuwapians Islamic Hebrews. So that's a subtle. Like if you look at the bottom there, it's Nuwap. I'm saying if you look, I know you're on Clubhouse, so you can't see the screen, but it's Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews, NIH. But you're right. The master did say that he's circling back around for the final time, in terms of when he took us through these schools, you know, when we were Nubian Islamic Hebrews, and then we went through like Holy Tabernacle Ministries, we went to the Holy Church of Karas, we went through the Egyptology schools, we went through the Sumerian schools. Every time we made the shift like we're doing now, it's a shaking of the tree. Many people drop off, you know, so he's circling back around. And some people dropped off not because they weren't sincere, but they may have followed other people, because it gets to a point where people don't stick and follow the master wherever he goes. They start to follow other people, maybe his students or some other person that's coming and trying to interpret what he was teaching. So many people that were sincere got either taken off the path by someone or something else influencing them, the distractions. So he's circling back to pick up all those beings that were true and sincere, because he did say, as we get to the end, those who left are going to come back if they're meant to be here, you see. So yeah, this going back and circling and representing our symbols that people were familiar with back then, it's going to wake up and reach even more people now, because all those old timers, all those people that they kind of like, a lot of people, once the master got incarcerated, it was a test of their faith. Like, how sincere are you? How loyal really are you? Many people ran away. and they didn't have that loyalty, and because they just thought, okay, now the master's incarcerated, it's all over. But he knew what was happening because he prophesied what was going to happen. And the Natharu also planned this because they put him in a position where he was now able to not have the distractions of the world, especially because he was getting very preoccupied with Tamaray in terms of people were just wanting to build the land and just everything was just about the land. And they were like, he's getting too much distractions. We're going to put him in a place where he's going to be isolated and basically he can focus. And that's what happened. And he wrote what we now call the hereafter doctrine, where we got the Pataruk, we got the master secrets, we got the actual facts. And most of all, he completed our language. So that was done also on a higher level for him to be able to do that. And once that job is done, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. Also, like you were saying, with the doctrine and where the master teacher is going with it, like you were saying, that does also leave wiggle room for people who are still seeking and may be in that school of Hebrew Israelism.
That's right.
And there'd be a way for the master teacher to reel them in into the higher level of information. And also, after you come in, I would like to say what I'm doing. And like what you asking the question is like a good check for me. And I'm not where I want to be with the doctrine.
Right.
I've been in the doctrine since I was 27. I'm about to be an elder. My birthday is this month, so I'll be 54.
Yes, definitely. So the title of today's class was growth, and you're right that a lot of new people are now waking up, and that's what he's exactly what he's doing. He's getting all this flock from, doesn't matter what walk of life you're in or what you are in. He's touching all those people again, and we're definitely gonna grow. Most of the people in the Nation of Islam are gonna come over to us. The Hebrew Israelites are gonna come over. The true seekers of truth from the Christians, they're gonna come over because there's been enough time now for everyone to recognize and know who has the golden pen, who's the one that's the Black Messiah, who's the one that has been sent, who's the one that has written all the books that cover every question you can think about, who's the one that's built communities, who's the one that's constantly able to give you new symbols, new information, new everything, where you're always going to stand out against the rest. And everything he has ever said has come to pass now. People are starting to see that reptilians. People are now showing you, reptilians are actually showing you themselves, even though they're using AI to distort things. You know, every prophecy that he has ever spoke about has come to pass. And now we're seeing everything in the extraterrestrials, 3-parent births, tri-solar systems. You know, he's basically now undisputable in terms of everything he's been saying. So a lot of those people from back in the day, now that they're like, wow, like he said this 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And now they're seeing it actually manifest. And so, yeah, you're right that all of them have to be, you know, everybody has to reckon with the truth now. And if you're sincere and you're truthful about wanting to be resurrected, about getting salvation, about wanting to be amongst the people with the Lamb, then this is the time. And so, yes, you're correct. That's what's happening. And the master, you know, of course, he's just introduced these new symbols to us, but he's going to expound on them and give us even more as we go along. So again, as I said before, there's always a shift that takes place every now and again when we're shifting gears. And again, it's also sometimes when the tree's shaken and, you know, people fall off or they don't stick to the, you know, close to the lamb wherever he goes. So we have to, yeah, brace ourselves because he's about, yeah, to take us to another level. But yeah, go ahead. You were going to comment on being an elder. You still there? Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that I had been in the doctrine and exposed to the doctrine, reading and studying the doctrine since I was about 27. And for the last few years, I've been, let me say this. When I first come into the doctrine, types of questions that with such a profound information, it's like when you've been alone, when you researching and then information. So I went through that process, and then it was an opportunity for me to go to, because I live in the city of the United States, and closest jurisdiction to
Mm-hmm.
and so they had the desert or whatever. At that
Right.
time, I was starting a family, and I on as far as responsibilities, I wasn't able to do that so much by not, you know, certain information. So in order for you to be able to make that journey, so I was, it's more or less, we don't have a bookstore in Memphis. Holding on to the rope as myself. So was at least make that journey at least once every quarter
Right.
or every for financial reasons. But it's like you said, this is a good check moment for me, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be long-winded. That I have to be closer to the
Right.
in the nation, right, in the culture, and for me, moving forward, that's the only thing that's going to give me the solace and the peace that I need. Because with the language and the people are progressing in the language, and I'm kind of lagging in a lot of areas that I feel like would make me a better person. And the question is, and they said it's the best one can do. I feel like this is that I am right now.
Mm.
And I'm just being as honest as I possibly can.
Right. It always starts. Yeah. It starts with the intentions.
So, I just want to say for people who are listening, who may feel the same way, you know what I'm saying? Don't be discouraged, be inspired, because the first step is just accepting the information and accepting the master teacher and realizing how grand a time it is for us to have been able to lay our hands on them. Some people have touched and walked with them, had a conversation with them, you know what I'm saying? Just how grand a time that we're in to have someone to
Right.
This is a wonderful day and time. So with that,
How type. Absolutely. So yeah, it wasn't to make you feel down and beat yourself up. It's about let that energy be, let it motivate you to do something, to help us, and to help, when I say us, you and us to grow, because if that's what it is, time. It's like there's really nothing to hold us back right now except for us uniting and doing what we need to do. Because no one else is going to do it for us either. So it's a good time, it's a good day. Like, what more does he have to do? Like he says, what more does a man have to do to prove his divinity? So, like I said, if you can, join the nearest community, the nearest store to you, even if it's online, and participate. And Nwapian men get together, Nwapian women get together, communities get together and let's build. We really have no excuse. So we have to prepare for his coming, and he's definitely coming. So, you know, he wants to come home to see us, you know, really embracing and flourishing in what he has taught us. Any other questions? It could be on anything. Anyone? Zoom? Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's nearly 9 o'clock for the chant, so we have about half an hour before we wrap up. So if you have any questions, feel free. No one's got questions today. This is funny. This is interesting. All right, should we go home? No? Okay.
I might need to find it quickly.
Actually, let me see if the Zoom's got any
Go for
question.
it, go for it, no problem.
Whilst you're looking for that.
All right. Well,
Oh, what was it? Sorry, I've got a question on oh wow. I didn't see Brown Sugar was answering the question when you were trying to work out the words, but she did get it right as well. What was Ibrahim's actual name before that action of crossing over? Right. So he was, again, when you look at what we're calling religion, it's taken from the Sumerian doctrine. So a lot of the names that come over, like for example, when you're saying Noah, right? You'll be saying Utnapishtim. He was known as Abram. Okay, it became Abraham later on. In fact, there were variations of it's Ubrum, and then it became Ibram, and then became Abraham. But the names evolved as well. So again, even when you look at Utnapishtim, who becomes Noah in the Bible, that the Sumerian information is coming from the ancient Tamarian information. So Seneferi would be the name of Utnapishtim in the Sumerian, which becomes Noah. And when you look at most of the names, they've been grafted from ancient Egypt to become the English version. So like we're saying, like for example, you know, the word Michael in English, it goes to Malachi in Hebrew, and then the Sumerians would be Murdoch. But when you go into to ancient Egypt, that being will be known as, say, Tahuti. So most of the Abrahamic characters get grafted out of ancient Egypt because the real people are in Egypt. So even when you're saying Jesus, that's the Romans and the Greeks putting Jah and Zeus together to get Jesus. But then if you went to the Sumerian, that would be Tammuz, Jesus, Tammuz. Then you go to the ancient Egyptian, that would be Hara or Ha, you see. But by the time it gets to the Greeks, it becomes Horus, but it's Hara or Ha, then it becomes Horus. It's the same thing they do with when it becomes Osiris. Yeah, Osiris, you go back, that's going to be Asaru or Asar. So they literally just graft everything out of Egypt. Sometimes it will go to the Sumerian and then into the English, but sometimes it's just straight from the ancient Egypt, straight into the Greeks and then into the English, or the Latin and then into the English. All right, so that's for you, Mumu. That's the last question on the Zoom, so go ahead, Kobe.
We were reading Revelations 12:9.
Yeah.
And it said the devil was cast down to the earth. I just want a bit more of an understanding on where the devil was cast down from.
Okay. So let me just pull it back up. So Revelations 12:9, it says, And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So this is talking about what they called heaven, right? Because they say that, you know, like if you read about Michael is the archangel, right? And the angels, they surround the throne of what they call God or the Most High. So this would have been in heaven. But when we say we're in heaven, the word heaven is Oranos. So there were wars that were taking place in the heavens or in the skies against the different crafts, like when they show you like Star Wars or something, and they're fighting. Yeah. So it's like that. So they were in heaven or in the Uranus star constellation, or in the craft, like in the craft of Nibiru, or different crafts, because the craft Nibiru is a fleet of crafts. So there were Star Wars. This is why in religion they call what they do worship. They worship, but the word worship goes back to war. The warship, the ships that were fighting, the conflicts of the gods, they have ships or crafts that they were fighting. So it's like if you get shot down from, like you even see when movies are going on, like even if you watch like, what's that movie with Tom Cruise and all those guys? Top Gun, thank you. Yeah, they get shot down and, you either jump out on a parachute or your craft gets brought down. So a lot of these beings came down here and they landed here and they started to, have children and multiply on the planet. So yeah, that's in the Bible. They just say heavens. You know what I mean? That there was a war in the heavens. If you read the whole of that, listen, Revelation 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Yes, it's a Star Wars. And they prevailed not. So neither was their place found anymore in heaven. Because when you ask religious people, where is heaven? What do they say? Up there. That's it. Up there, where? Then they start to go into like the actual crafts, like a haven. Because there's a haven is where they get the word heaven from. A haven is where crafts dock. You know what I mean? Like when you have a space station and then the crafts come and they dock. That's what they call heaven. But where is the space station? Yeah, that's in space, in the skies or in the constellations of Sirius and Orion and Pleiades and Arcturus and these different beings. They teach you about this in the Star Trek and Star Wars movies. That's what they're talking about. But yeah. All right. Okay, we've got a question in Zoom. Who are considered to be the red race? The Arabs are. The desert Arabs are considered to be the red race. But then again, when you look at, there was an update as well recently that the master was, I wonder if I could find it. I did a video on it, but I'm trying to remember where I can find it. But it explains about how the black race would be the black and brown, and then you will have the evolution from that black and brown all the way to what we're calling pale or the lack of color, which would be your Caucasians. But they get loosely broken down into the three root races, as the Negro had been Homo habilis or the Homo naledi being the male of the Pataites, and then you have the Homo habilis being the females. If I've got, I think I have, if it's not the other way around, but that's the black and brown. But then you go on to what we call today the Denisovan and the Homo florensis, which will be your Dravadu and the Asians, okay? And then from there, you would get what we call the Neanderthal or the Cro-Magnon, and that will be like your Caucasians or Adamites, but they're mixtures between different ones to produce what we call the subraces. So you're going from black and brown to the yellow, and then the red, and then basically to the pale or the transparent, which is the ghost being. So you go from primary creation to secondary creation or tertiary creation, and then you go from that to ghost. So 9 ether becomes 6 ether at death, and 6 ether becomes ghost at death. You see, so that's how it goes. Are the Arabs part of the Adamites? Yes. This is why when the master said read the book Leviathan 666, if you look at the cover of the book, let me see if I can find it. We should have it, yeah. We should have it in the store. So if I search, just put 6666, what comes up? Okay, I've got to put Leviathan. Maybe it's, there you go. Right, if you look at this scroll, Leviathan, it's called Leviathan, the beast, as the Antichrist. Yeah, you can see that, right? If you look, this is what we were talking about when we were reading that quote where it talks about the 7 horns. Sorry, I made it too. There you go. If you count them, the faces you see on there, how many faces do you see? You see 7 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. And the 7th is the one that is depicting Donald Trump. But you see the others, you see the Arabs are in there as well, because they're referred to as the Dajjal, okay? And if you look at the symbols as well that are put on the book, you know, the master is very, very smart and well ahead of time in putting things in our face. But yes, the desert Arabs, or the people that you refer to as the Wahhabi sect, right? They were the ones that were pushing the fake Sunni Orthodox Islam, which is different from what we were saying before, the original peaceful way. But yeah, so these nations are all part of the beast.
All the nations with the symbols on the left, yeah?
No, these, if you look at the heads, the 7, yeah, the 7 heads, these are the major nations, as you can see, if you can recognize them. I'm not gonna, but you can see them clearly. So this is where you're talking about like the dragon, the eagle, the bear. You can see the Queen of England over there. Every time I move my mouse, it goes, yeah. So this one, you can see Rush, you can see all of them there. But read the book, get the book and read it. But yeah, so yeah, when you say Adamites, you're right. A lot of times people think Adamites is only referring to the Adamites of the Caucasians, but no. And not all Caucasians are Adamites either. Any other questions? Let me see if there's any questions in the chat. No questions? It's either you guys are completely overwhelmed and full with information, or you're just shy. I don't know what's going on today, but you guys are being very oh, we've got a hand up. Bree's got her hand up. Let me bring you up on the stage. Sorry, I lost the clubhouse screen, but I've got it back now. Yeah, go ahead, Bree. You can unmute yourself and ask a question or make your comment.
Robert Moisa.
Robert.
I do have a question. I'm seeking clarity on just a general meaning of saying Panababi unknown in dreams and in visions, without going in details, like what it means to see Panababi unknown on your dreams and visions.
Right. All right. it means you're in tune with him, or he wants to contact you, reach out to you, touch you, and give you a message. You know, it's for you personally, and you've got to figure out what it is, or you know, you will figure it out. You've just got to make notes of every dream or vision that you're having, write all the detail that you can remember, and over time you'll be able to connect the dots as to, you know, what it is. It's like, that's such a great question, because in order for him to pass certain secrets or certain information to people in ancient times, a lot of this would take place in what you call in your sleep. And because you will be traveling, or you'll be meeting these masters in your sleep, and they will teach you things or give you information. And the idea is for you to be able to remember it when you wake up. But a lot of the time, because of the distractions and because we've been misinformed so much, that people are actually not able to remember a lot of their travels during the time we call sleep. So, you know, this is a skill. It's like you're supposed to be able to come out of your skin suit at will and go back without being trapped outside or of being afraid and so on and so forth. Because, you know, you're as a spiritual or being with a soul, when you raise in vibration, like the elders, they don't come down to the physical, they come down. Well, let me explain that properly. So they would rather not come down to this world, because this is a disagreeable vibration and energy, and it's like a prison. So this is why the fourth is the mental. So they meet you on your mental, on the mental realm. Then they teach you or give you information. And this is why your mental being is just as important as your physical being, and your spiritual and your soul being. These are all parts of you, but different things take place on both, on all those levels. And most people are preoccupied with just the physical things, and you're bombarded all the time with frequencies, and you know, so that you are constantly distracted. But to answer your question, Bree, that's a message for you. No one can fake Pana Babyanun. No entity can come in your dreams or try and pretend to be him, because you know he's a very unique being. So if he comes to you, there's a reason, and you've got to figure it out and work it out. But as it keeps happening, document it, and you'll be able to connect the dots. If you think about what was going on in your life at the time and after as well, like you'll be able to kind of see what the message is that you were receiving and put it together. Does that help? We got a question from Ray. Ray, I'm bringing you up on the stage. I don't have any moderators today, so I'm doing everything. So I'm bringing you up on stage, Ray. So you can unmute yourself and ask a question. And I see the questions in the Zoom as well. I'll come to those. Ray, go ahead.
Yeah, well, just to clear up, now we're Nubian Islamic Hebrew. That means we can open up churches and mosques and lure like the congregation into the hereafter doctrine.
We're supposed to be doing that anyway, yeah. But yeah, literally, you had a lot of stubborn, because the fake Islam, they teach, let's say, for example, Nagarus are Nagarus. And when you're in religion and you're caught up in religion, you're taught to put the religion before you, before your actual like family. Because remember that the fake, when I say the fake Islam, meaning that when you're looking at the predominant sects today, Islamic sects, they're going to be teaching you that they teach you to be a slave, basically. And that's why the name you get is Abd, ABD, right? But the word Abd means slave. That's why the word Abdullah means slave of Allah. And that's why everyone who takes their Shahada and becomes a Muslim, that's the name you're first given, Abdullah, which means is a slave of Allah. But Allah that they're talking about is actually, or Abdullah is Prophet Muhammad's father. That was his name. So the desert Arabs are teaching you to basically become a slave for Muhammad and his father. Now, these types of truth, when you teach this to people that they want to do the right thing, but the version of Islam that they get given is one that turns them into a slave. And especially when you're looking at the racism and everything that goes on in Islam. And the master was pointing out that, you know, they say there's no racism in Islam, but you can't marry one of their daughters. You can't do certain things. And they give you certain names like Bilal. You find them, most of the Black Muslims, they get called Bilal or they get called Ishmael or maybe Kedar if they're very lucky. But all those people are Black people. So it's no coincidence. And they push Bilal because they say he was the Adhan singer, you know, in the call to prayer. Because we have the soulful voice and he was a good singer, but they say there's no music in Islam to cut you away from tying into your soul. So there are all these things that are sixth ether, the version of Islam that is given, even when we talk to our brothers, the nation, you know, in the Nation of Islam, like, or even those who came by way of the Moorish Science Temple. All of that Islam was the Islam to keep you suppressed and keep you under them. But when you come out of that and go back to the, like we say, Nuwapian Islam, Nuwapians of peace, they're those of peace, or what we say is the Nubians, the new beings. We say Nubians, but we're talking about the day and time we're in where we're replacing everything. So we say we are Musbatu. Musbatu is those who replace. You see, so we're replacing the old Islam. We're replacing what people are calling the old Christian, well, but we say Karast, not Christian, Karast, because again, that ties into the anointed one, as in you have the anointed cherub and you have the real Messiah, and the Messiah, the anointed Black Messiah. So yeah, it's about pulling everyone back from those religious, the three frogs as they refer to, pulling them back into the real truth, and then bringing it all under Wu Sabat, under, you know, as you say, Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews. All right, I got a tour. Right, who's that? Yomi, yeah, go ahead.
I have a question or two. I was wondering if you could expand upon a bit more about quantum entanglement and also, like, if fate is actually a thing. I mean, do we go through some things and meet something for a particular reason, or is it, I mean, it was life, consequence of choices and karmic consequences in that sense?
Tour. Yeah, quantum entanglement means that when you break things down to their smallest particles, you're dealing with pockets of energy, right? Energy cannot be destroyed, so energy exists worldwide. And our connection is our genetics, so our DNA is the same because it ties us back to the root. So we, no matter where we are in the world, our DNA is the same. It's like water is water no matter wherever it is. And it's connected because of the vibration and the frequency. But the thing is that the more we are awake and we recognize who we are, then we become what we call mind linked, because they basically mess with your mind. So once your mind is awake and you're thinking and reasoning as a divine being, then you're now vibrating on that frequency. And we call that resonance, right? The resonant frequency that we all have when we're on that vibration means we're automatically united, like how, like I said, nature is. It's like people say, when we say nature and we're animists, if you look at the word Tamaray, which was the name of, you know, our land, that was because of us being animists, because Ta is dealing with the earth, the soil, okay? And then Ma, again, if you study the languages, what we call the ancient languages, you'll see that the vowels are partly what throws people up, because you can always replace the vowels. So when you say Ma, M-A, or Mu, M-U, right, or M-E, me, you see they all relate, because that's dealing with the water. We say Maye in our language, M-A-Y-A-Y. And so me, coming from the soil or the ta or pata, right? Because pata is where it becomes ta, or like the soil. That's why they say to you, the first man was Adam, taken from the soil or the ground. So that's us as the original black, because everything comes from black. So you take the ta, you take the me or the mu or the ma, and that becomes the water. And then the ray, right? We say raye, but they say ray or ra, the sun god. That's why on our symbol, as you can see, the sun is always present. These three elements is what gives life. Yeah, so you need soil, water, and the sun. Of course, air is involved because moisture. This is why even when we say Tamu, Nefu, Set in ancient Egypt, we're saying the same thing. Ta, Mu, water, Nefu, air, or moisture. And because air is actually water. We breathe in water, we breathe in air, but we just call it air. But we say it's oxygen. So we take in oxygen, we have a lit sun in us called a solar plexus, and we give out carbon dioxide. So we are alive because we are made up of the soil, our DNA, our mothers, they breathe in the dust particles when they're having a child in their womb. So the elements of nature are going to be, at the very basic, is going to be ta, nefu, which is air. What did I say? Ta, mu, water, nefu, set. Set is again referring to the sun. This is why they say, excuse me, the sun sets, because it ties back to Seth from the Osiris and Seth story. And they say Jesus walked on the water, but I mean, you look at the sun walks on the water as is, you know, going across from what they say rising to setting. You see, so all these sciences is what makes us connected to each other. And that's what we say quantum entanglement, because no matter how far you take something away from its source, it will always be connected or be drawn to the source. Like water is always going back home to water. Think of what happens with water. Every time you drink water, then it comes out of you, then it goes into, it's constantly recycling.
Yes. What of fate and pharaohs for our traces, is that thing?
Yeah, I was just coming to that. So again, there's a distortion with the word, because in religion, they teach you to have faith, F-A-I-T-H, but we have fate, F-A-T-E, because we decide our destiny by the actions that we make or take.
Yes.
But collectively, we can decide our collective destiny. That's why it's important for us to come together in love and unity, because we have more power when we're united. They know this. That's why they always want us to separate, because it's like all our leaders or anyone that's come to teach, to bring us together, the one thing they were unanimous in was there's strength in numbers. You know, no matter what background, religion, or whatever you have, it's like you look at every race that is successful is because they work together. They come together. They're united. That's why we're known as the United Nuapians or Sabians worldwide. No coincidence. People say they're the United States. People say snake, the United States, and some people say what, the United Kingdom. But are they united?
Yes.
Right. But we are supposed to be united. We're separated by religions and denominations, and this is what's happening. The word Africa means to separate. That's what they did, separate us. But we know now it's our time. We have to unite, and then we have to help humanity. Let me take the questions in the Zoom chat. Who are considered, okay, cover that. The son of Enki named Mahmud Egypt, the lotus of life. 119, was Egypt named after him? When you say Egypt named after him, Egypt came later, remember, yeah, in that sense, because Egypt comes from the word Aegyptos, from the Greeks. We didn't call it Egypt. We called it, as I said, Tamaray. You see, so let me see if I've got the scroll. Is there a verse or, because you just said, if you can give me the verse or page number, I've got the scroll with me. We can probably break it down for you. I did have the scroll. Tim, see if you can grab, hold on one second. The other window, the other cabinet, the front. Can you grab one of those scrolls for me? Lotus of Light. I'm just trying to get the scroll. Who was that asking that for? Jackie. Yeah, if you can give me what? Okay, I'll go on to the next question until we get the scroll. But you just said, oh, actually, there are a few more questions. You just said the Lotus of Life verse 119. Okay, yeah, we're going to look at it in a minute. All right. When one crosses over and hasn't fulfilled this is from Mumu, fulfill their mission on Earth, how long will it take for them to reincarnate back again to try again on Earth if they still have more chances out of the 24,000 attempts? They come back straight away, because when they get to that point of crossing over, they just get directed to the wormhole, which is the white light. Yeah, so, but there is a period of 90 days where they are able to visit in their other form. That's the spirit form, right? They're able to visit their relatives and so forth. So that would be 90 days. But the physical, in terms of would they be reborn into another family as a baby or as a child? Remember that we always explain that 3 months prior to the cup is the one by the door. If you slide the door, it's definitely there. Yeah, you have 3 months prior to the 9 months that people know about. So things are happening in the other realm, the etheric realm and the soul and the spiritual realm. So by the time, the baby is born, that's 12 months, not 9 months. So those things are taking place for the baby to be united and with the spirit is happening prior to that, prior to the baby coming out. Next question. Are the Arab part of the Arab cover that? What is the blue rock? The blue rock is referring to the planet Earth. Because when you look at, let me have a look. If you look at the planet Earth from above, if you just search planet Earth tour, you see how they show you the picture of the Earth. Yeah. You see how they always depict the planet as blue. So it's the blue rock. That's what's referring to. All right. That's for you, Jackie. If all these 7 Leviathan nations are together, then the whole world is against us Nuapians. Well, you see it all over, but funnily, it's not the whole world, it's the Adamites mainly, and that's why their time has expired as of the year 2000. They're going to be removed. The forces of 6 ether are being removed, so it's not the whole world. And then you say, what species was made from the Pleiadians' DNA along with the canines, porcines, and simians? Those were the Adamites. That's what happened when you're talking about the Bible, when he's saying Adam was being created. The Adam they're talking about is the Adamites. And the DNA came from the Pleiadians. And they used, as you say, the canines, porcines, and simians. Yeah, so that's correct. All right, let me go back to your original question because I have the scroll now. You said verse 119. Verse 119 is on page 34. I'll start from 118. So the Mulbantu white race and the Mulmaru red race both know who they really are and from whom they were grafted and cloned and made 6,000 years ago. That's why we say it's the Adamites. And then it goes on and says 119. What most don't remember being made to forget, right, is the Muthathalu extraterrestrials from Mahma, Pleiades, star system, are their DNA donors. Yeah, so those who also donated their DNA along with the canines, porcines, and simians. And finally, in the making of the Adamite, the last of the 6 species, the grafting and separating and use of the bodies of Anunnaki, Nin Her Sag for Eve, Titi, to Enki for Adam, Adapa, the genetic splicing done by the son of Nud Immud, Enki, Anunnaki geneticism, and Hisat, Egyptian geneticist. This son was named the Hutui in Mahmat, Egypt. Oh, is that where your question is coming from? No, it's saying that he was named the Hutui and then in Mahmat, Egypt. So Mahmat is Egypt. So the Hutu would be his name, and Ningish Zida as Anunnaki. So it's telling you that the names, the Hutui is Egypt, and Ningish Zida is Anunnaki. This was the making of the Adamite race, as you read, recorded in their own Sajal At records of the Bible, number 1, 2, the Quran, and 3, the Book of Mormon. Created and made for 2 purposes only: slave labor and food. Yeah, so that's why I say that most religions, when I gave the example with Islam, when they call you Abdullah, it means you're a slave of Allah. So yeah, they were made for slave and for food. That's all your questions. We have a question from Terry. No, we have a question from Violet. I want clarifications on the naming of a child after someone who died a long time ago. It's possible that the child can inherit the behavior of that person. I don't know if your question is it possible that the child can inherit the behavior? Yes, it is. It's called personality. When you're saying person, you're saying personality. The first word of personality is person. So yes, you inherit the personality because you have, 29 or less personalities that make you up from your previous 4 generations. So yes, your ancestors, when a child is born, they actually inherit the personality of one of your ancestors. But in terms of naming of a child, you're saying after someone who died a long time ago, you don't have to name your child after that because those tones are dead tones. So you have to learn Misbatia and use our tones that are alive. And this is why the master told us to stop using those Islamic and religious names that we use, because that tone would draw anyone who was called by that tone, dead or alive, to you. So we have to stop using those old tones and have our Miss Batia or Nuapic names instead. All right, that's the last question. Let me see if there's any no hands up, no questions in the chat. Okay. There's a question, Nubia. I lost my grandson February 5th, 2026, and often wonder what's the result of a baby that didn't have time on Tamat. Obviously, each situation is different, but sometimes, you have up to 24,000 time cycles. When you've completed those, if a baby comes, sometimes that's his last cycle and it just goes back. It doesn't have no more time. It's perfected itself and it's just gone back. And that was his last time. I know sometimes it can be lost, that is painful and so forth. But remember, energy cannot be destroyed. And most of us come here in our cycles to perfect and leave here not to come back. So if they've done that already, then they've done their time and they're still existing on the other realms. All right, as soon as I said there's a last question, I see a lot of questions. Okay, last one. My grandma and grandpa have both crossed over a few years ago. In that realm, are they still in contact with each other, assuming they were able to fulfill their obligations on Earth and not sent back? Not everybody goes to the same place, so we can't say that for sure. But some people are from the same place, so they may go to the same place, but we will only be speculating. And that's something you can do in terms of contacting and having the ritual of communication with them, and they will be able to tell you and guide you to the answers that you're seeking. Okay, so today's class was growth, because it is about us growing. It's about growing in whatever way you want to look at the word growth. Growing in reaching more souls, growing in more locations for stores, temples, tamares, buildings, growing in providing things for our children, for our elders, for everyone, because these days we are those new teachers, we're the new supreme beings, we're the new messiahs, the new saviors. We're here to save the planet and to save humanity. But we can only do that by applying the doctrine of Wu Sabat and being amongst the guide who's guiding us, Panda Babianun. So I hope to see a lot of you. Well, not hope, we want to see a lot of you go into the stores, getting active. That's what I was saying before, and I got distracted. I was saying that my experience, the most newcomers are people who they love Wu Sabat, they want to do something, and they just turn up and say, how can I help? And you see them all the time. And after a while, they're just part of the family, you see. But some people are waiting for some kind of application process for them to be told, oh, you're a Nuapian now. You make Nuapu or Wu Sabat, or, it chooses you. And once it chooses you, you have to start making the moves to live, as a Muspatu. So what I'm saying is that don't wait for someone. It's like some people, they crossing the road, right? But now we have the traffic lights, and the traffic lights red, and they wait for the little green man to tell them to cross the road, but there's no cars coming. It's like, why are you waiting for the little green man to tell you to cross the road when you know there are no cars coming on either side? Cross the road. You don't have to wait for the green man. So I'm saying, once you know that Wu Sabat's for you, then you're about it. Just go to the stores, go to the communities, just start being a part of Wu Sabat. All right. So I want to thank everyone. Tawakum. Until next time. Wadu Wu Hatap.